how can you make it relatable to people so they understand that they aren't part of this group? It's not always the best to be like, I'm the best at this, when no one can relate to it. Like, I know the most in this, but no one understands what I'm saying. You have to speak a language that is also so people can understand you, or your stuff doesn't actually reach the people in any discourse, and whether it's music, writing, or anything. One day, you could be my lady, and wake you up at 3 a.m. just to make sure you're still alive.
What's up, everybody? It's the Poorly Edited Podcast, the show where we put a spotlight on some of the most creative minds we can find. Woo! That's we're rolling with it.
I'm not sharing that with you. You're
What?
going to say the whole thing, and then I'll say... Actually, don't. Just let's cut that
As best as a couple college
great.
kids can do.
Not very well.
What was so funny?
You like...
Yeah,
you did one of those. It was really bad.
Welcome to The Price is Right. Yeah. Come on down. You know.
We're here with Austin Lewis, or Alew. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
You got it right. Yeah, see?
I'm terrified. I was really scared of that coming over here.
That's okay.
And you, dude, you're like, I mean, I'm ready for the positive vibes. I'm ready for because that's your MO, at least from what I can tell, you know. And you came in here and you've been so wholesome as you waited for us to fix audio problems for 4 hours. You've been a very generous, kind person with your time. Coming out here.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was just having fun. To be honest with you, like, this doesn't even feel like I'm waiting around. We're just having fun. So cool. I wrote on my thing. I wrote "hang out with" Lab 212, and
that's rad.
We're hanging out. We are hanging out right now.
That's true.
That makes one of us.
This is us inside of the house, just chilling.
That's true. We're in Josh's studio again, hostage in his attic, in his studio attic, and I'm just excited to get to sit down and talk to you. Finally, there's been an exchange for a while. Actually, you're friends with Seth Witcher.
Yes.
And we had him on the show, and that's how we met you, through him. And so I've just been really excited to talk to you ever since.
Yeah, we've been trying since, I think, July.
It's been a minute.
It's been a while. Yeah.
That episode, we also had really bad audio issues at XLV, which normally doesn't happen. Like, one of the mics just stopped working, so me and Seth had to share a mic.
Don't worry, I watched just to prepare for this. I was like, what do I have to do and how do I have to be? That's
there's going to be problems. Okay. Better bring my guitar.
No, that's not what I thought. But make it even more.
Yeah.
He brings like a Rubik's Cube.
You ever watch like the one show on YouTube where they do hot lanes and then they interview people? You know, and like Logic solves a Rubik's Cube while he's eating the.
Does he really?
Logic, you said?
Yeah.
I feel like I should have watched that.
I feel like you should have too.
I like Logic.
Yeah, I knew that.
Is a hot take, I think.
I like Logic too. I mean, why is he too?
No, it's just I hear a lot of hate, a lot of Logic hate.
He's corny.
Which he's a bit corny. Yeah, I can see it.
But corny is good sometimes. I mean, like, you can't if he's gonna be spreading love, you can't spread love and be like. I agree. How do you not be corny then? Like,
Under Pressure is one of the anthems of the grind to me.
No, I agree.
And The Incredible True Story is.
And then he became too much. To some people.
Yeah, I was like.
Even though everybody's still pretty good,
everybody is good.
Then it starts tanking a little bit, just a little bit.
No, I'm relating.
We love Logic, but you're just tanking a little bit. Absolutely. It's okay.
And I never really liked his Bobby Tarantino stuff either.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I liked his more.
It's like a wannabe. He's trying.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was the Logic section of the podcast.
Yeah.
So you're a musician.
I would like to think of myself as one. Sure.
That's your primary objective. Is playing music and making, you know, I really have liked your sound from what I've heard, but I also really like your versatility in terms of like you'll do raps and hip hop stuff, and you do you found this sound, I think, with your most recent project that you've come out with, where you've really hunkered down and committed to that. I'm also though interested in like the fullness of your sound, even though you're just a single person from what I can tell, and how you developed that, which is really cool. But yeah, so I'm just excited to get to talk to you.
I mean, if you want me to talk about that just a little bit, so so like I pull a lot from people like very singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran, John Mayer, James Bay. James Bay is a little bit more of alternative, kind of mixed with his like singer-songwriter. And then like my parents obviously listen to classic rock, which most parents do. That kind of.
You're wearing a Guns N' Roses shirt.
I am. This is the only album I know, but it's okay. I like the whole album. I have it on vinyl actually in my apartment, but it's actually on there right now too. It's funny, but so like I like to take this mixture of like singer-songwriter elements, which tends to be a little more like percussive, like patterns on the guitar, little slaps and kind of stuff, and add that into like a lot of guitar solos that happen to be electric guitars, which is the only time I ever use an electric guitar. I like to, but I can never do it in a live show because it's just, how do I pull it out with my...
It's too much.
It's just that I have to switch. I have to... Yeah, I mean, like, give me a full band then maybe, but like I don't have...
They have those things that'll like hold an acoustic guitar and then you can just like step up to it. But I feel like that's weird when you also have an electric on, like no matter what.
Yeah, but then I have to have the electric on. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to mainly have the acoustic on, and that's an interesting dilemma, and I don't want to deal with that. Yeah. Not until later. When I'm like 70, it'd be fine. You know what I mean? When I can't pick up.
Because you only see people use those when they're like 70.
Yeah, because you can't. Maybe just like they don't want to. I feel like, I took out my back.
That's me.
Stop the show.
So.
Yeah, it's you already.
Yeah, but no. So like in the studio, I like that I can make it sound like I have a band when I have nobody.
Is that kind of a liberating experience for you then, being able to get into a studio? Do you feel like you're more able to be creative then?
It's more daunting.
Okay.
So like, it's so difficult to say, okay, I know what the song can be. How do I make it sound how I want it to be? Yeah. How do I make it sound like that? Because in my head, I'm just writing it down with the guitar. I'm like, oh, this sounds beautiful. Exactly the way I want it. But I know I want to like add drums, add this, but I'm like, oh, that's stereo. That's not what I do. So I'm just like sitting there for a long time doing, oh, not that drum. And like, I just want someone to come in. Like, it'd be so cool if I just had my bandmates, which again, if we had more money to give to people, you know, like, hey, bandmates, cool, nice, great drummer. Just this is what you need. And I'm like, sounds perfect, dude. Yeah. That's what I want. But one day, and then you'd be on stage, that'd be fun too, to be like, oh my gosh, I can just stop and you can play the solo and then I don't have to worry. Like, fun, like, cool. So that's a future goal that might never come to realization unless, like, obviously more attention. But at the moment, I do enjoy very acoustic singer-songwriter atmospheres, and I like playing by myself at the same time because the loop pedal's fun.
Yeah. Which is very Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, but I don't play it like Ed Sheeran. It's a little different.
No,
but yes, it's very. I think he popularized it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a good idea when you think about it. You know, it was
so
like
smart.
I think it was funny when he started doing that because it was such a no-brainer. It's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but no one ever got popular doing it.
Like he was. Yeah, you're like,
And you watch early videos, and he has a little 2-pedal thingy, like a little like stop-start. Mm-hmm. But once you add to the stop-start, there's only 2 pedals. You have start and stop, right? Once you add to it, you can only take everything away by stopping it and then hitting start again. But if you keep adding, you keep adding. And so he was a person who like. I don't know exactly if they had this before him, but he evolved from having this 2-pedal stop-start thing to having 3 separate stop-starts on the same board, and that's what he uses now. He has his own custom one he made with the people that make it, but yeah, so like that idea is so cool. Because that's what I bought. Is I was like, oh my gosh, I have to try it. So like you can have like 3 separate ones that are stopping and starting. So like you could have like your chords on one, your drum on another. So you could like literally, I could just not play. I could just have the chords going, and then like chorus time. Drum, bam. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's so cool now. And I think it's the coolest thing ever.
The only other person I can think of that did something like that, there's a really famous bassist by the name of Victor Wooten, who in like the 90s or the late 80s wanted to know if he could make an album of just bass and people would listen to it.
Yeah.
He ended up winning a Grammy for it, so I think it worked. But like even then, like it's still too like weird and glowy brained for everybody to like even know what he was doing. No. So it never really caught on.
Yeah, I think Ed would be someone who popularized it, but like in a way that it's very much like the thing about like the market, any kind of market, any kind of discourse is how can you make it relatable to people so they understand it that aren't part of this group. It's like you don't want to be someone who is well known, and you might want to be. I'm just saying in theory, like it's not always the best to be like I'm the best at this when no one can relate to it. Like I know the most in this, but no one understands what I'm saying. You have to speak a language that is Also, so people can understand you, or your stuff doesn't actually reach the people.
Yep.
In any discourse, in whether that's music, writing, or anything. Like,
well, yeah, like
for sure.
think you can like watch videos with like 1 million views on YouTube of people on the streets like doing ridiculous stuff, and the skill levels there, but nobody's like turning them on their phone and listening to it. You know what I mean? Because there is that like disconnect where, and it's not like. There's not necessarily anything wrong with that. They're just like really trying to iron something out, and that's what they're going for.
Well, that's kind of the thing with the industry itself. It's really not about how great your voice is or how like skilled you are on the guitar. As much as that may contribute to your success, it's really about, can I make something that people can go, yep, that's it. That's what I want. That's what I want to play in my car. Because that's not like, as much as like some people are so great singers. All they'll ever be is cover singers because that's what they do. They don't have the creative thing to make it something relatable.
Now, as an artist, I have to ask, is that something that you find kind of constrictive? Like, are you ever like, I want to write this song or I want to write something this way, but I don't know if people are going to connect to it. And then maybe I shouldn't do that.
So, it's a very good question, actually. I refrain from giving into that only because I think if I write something.
I think that's the right answer.
I think if I write something and try to make it a hit, it's not going to be a hit.
Yeah.
I think you have to be really authentic to how the song feels to you, and if that's that, then it will take its own course depending on whatever it is. So if it's a slow song, it's going to be a slow song. You couldn't make the same words be a spunky song.
Right.
This is probably an unpopular opinion, but I write lyrics before I write melodies, and
some people do it either way.
I just tend to think people have a melody and they go, okay, now we put the words to the melody.
Yeah,
I think it's really interesting you say that. I don't actually I rarely record anything I write, but I always think of the words before I think of any form of the music, and I'm always told that that's really weird.
Yeah, most people don't do that, which is why I said it too. Yeah, because like to me, it's all about the story. So to me, I can't think of a melody. I can't think of the chords until I have the story.
Right.
So that's how I operate. And I guess some people just I need the melody, then they can match the words. It's just how their brain works.
And like secondary.
It can work just as well. It's just how my brain tends to function.
That's interesting.
So yeah.
I think you're the first person that said they did it in that order.
So I have to imagine then you, like, out of the two things, which is more important to you? Is it lyrics or melody? And it's not even just your own music, but like the music that you like to consume.
Me personally, it's totally lyrics.
Right. I think that's probably where that shifts, like depending on the person.
Yeah, I think most people do tend to be very much like melodic and rhythmic based.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, that's a nice rap song with a nice drum beat. And I'm like, yeah, but the words suck.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And I'm like, well, listen to this rap. And they're like, not as good. It's like, but do you hear the words? Like, do you hear it?
The lyrics for me have to be good, but like it's melody and rhythm for me above all else.
Yeah.
But it's just personal preference.
Totally. No, I'm just usually rapping because sometimes their words are like, oh, okay, buddy. Like,
yeah, and I think rap is one of those things where it probably shifts a little more closer to the lyrics have to really have some meaning there.
Yeah, but I do think that you can totally be enamored by rhythmic and melodic like sounds over the lyrics in certain songs of like other genres, more or less than rap. But also, even in some cases, there's always exceptions to the rule, and it's.
I remember I got in an argument with my friend the one time because he's a big fan of Future, and I always
you want to put him on blast?
No, I'm not going to put him on blast. He's serving our country right now. I'm not going to put him.
I'll put him on blast.
No, you don't know. You actually don't know.
Protecting our future.
Yeah, exactly. But because that was his thing. It was like he would always send me these songs. I'm like, I hate the lyrics. Like I hate his delivery. I hate mumble rap.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of it because I'm very much into the lyrics as a major.
Hence
component.
why we're back to Logic right now. But
right, that's part of the reason why I like Logic. And people are like, oh, it's I like the subject matter, what he talks about.
Yeah.
There's also some really hooky melodic stuff that he does. But even the songs that are less that, I think are still important and are good to listen to. So I remember arguing about that, and it just kind of ends on this impasse where you're like, some people value one over the other, and it's like a weird thing to balance. So I would imagine like writing to get that balance right when you're writing music is also probably a daunting task, to be like, the lyrics coming from that mindset you have, where it's like the lyrics have to be tight, and the melodic, stuff has to be on point as well to make it a catchy song sonically.
Yeah, for sure.
I bet is hard to juggle.
It definitely is, but it's also interesting to say that lyrics are important also doesn't mean to say that they're not they can't be simple.
Right.
That's the really
and
interesting
still
thing.
Good,
because they can be really good, but the most simple thing you're like, wow, I never thought of that. Never. That's such a no-brainer. And how could you not just duh?
I've been listening to a lot of Frank Sinatra and the Rat Packy stuff like that, and the lyricism in those songs is so simple compared to some of the stuff that you listen to in hip hop or rap or whatever sometimes. Yeah. And I just think it's a really interesting what?
I'm just laughing at the things that he has on the wall. It's like that. The bottom meme is really funny.
You're supposed to be paying attention. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing.
I'm like, what's that big? Oh, that's an alien head. And then I had to.
No, that's
Beast from X-Men 1.
Yeah, and
is it?
And I had the 8 habits of productive people.
Yeah, I'm clearly not reading that.
I thought it was Megamind.
No.
I honestly thought it was Megamind.
Signs into Gmail from different account.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
No, it's okay.
But that's something that I was thinking of very recently, where I was like, the sheer difference
under my it's so low I can't do it, but it's
is that difference and separation, even though the lyrics are powerful in both rights, but they're so different in complexity.
For sure.
And where I think the interest has shifted in terms of the audience of the time, you know what I mean? To where one was mind-blowing then and it's simpler, and now
it's really evolved in a way.
So
it's everything's evolved. The melodies, the beats, because you don't want to write the same music. You also kind of get sued for it, but you do.
Do you agree? What was that? What was the one that just happened recently? It was.
You're attacking me.
You're attacking me. Oh, because there was a suit that took place recently. I think it might have been. I don't want to say and then be wrong. I think it was Katy Perry though.
Oh, I think it was.
I think it was for Dark Horse.
Yes, it was.
And
I don't know the other song.
Pretty much, she was trying to say that she owns a chord progression. And that's doesn't make any sense. That was pretty much what that lawsuit was arguing.
Actually, chord progressions, you can have the same chord progression as much as you want, because there's only so many chord progressions.
Songs have the same chord progression you hear in that.
Literally, one of the things I'm going to do for you is play 4 songs all in the same key.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, So I mean, yes. That's how you draw people's attention. Does you just wow, you just wanted that one.
I feel like that's misleading. That doesn't mean that everything's so simple.
No, it's not, because the melodies are totally different too, and the chords also come at different times, different rhythm. It's
it's fascinating that is a link that they all have, where that's the same, but the song sounds so
totally
different.
It's great.
Yeah,
no, I agree, but then
I agree.
Then you have an issue where you write a song, you're like, it's so good, and you're like, oh crap, it sounds like this song. When this comes in later and they sue me 10 years down the road. But I wrote this song.
Like Vanilla Ice.
I wrote this song called She's Too Tall for Me.
I like that song.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But it sounds like the Hanukkah song. Here comes Hanukkah. Where so much fun. It's like, she's too tall for me.
That is true. How do you say that?
It's legit. Same chord progression and everything. I didn't know it. But there's different melodies. It's just that small part. The she's too tall for me and the Hanukkah, same exact lines until the rest of the song.
So did someone tell you that, or did you?
Okay, so I was
that's sweet, honey, but
no, I wrote it. And I'm practicing upstairs, and this was a time where I wouldn't show people. I wouldn't actually sing in front of people.
Yeah.
And I was writing it, and I'm sitting upstairs in my room, and I walked out. My parents go, "You're practicing the Hanukkah song?" I was like, "No, what are you talking?
And then no, what
are you talking about?" And I went, "Oh crap!" and then I was like, "Do I put it on the album? Do I not?" But there's also another issue. Funny story.
Spoiler alert: he did put it on the album.
I did put it on the album, but when I was writing the album, this might be a little blast, but in a very respectful way. So I was dating someone, and even when we first started talking, they listened to my music and they were like, "But what's this song?" And I was like, "I don't like her anymore." Because I don't. Just I don't.
That's so funny that you said that.
Right? But anyways, it was 3 months in the relationship, and still like use like I don't like this song. It's the worst thing you ever wrote. I was like, I think you're a little biased, but it's okay, right? And then
biased.
I was like, hey, do you mind if I put it on the album? And she was like, no way, never, like don't do it. And I was like, I still think I'm done, but like, thanks for your input. It's okay. We're not dating now, so it's okay.
Thing. Yeah, I actually
that's why I put it on.
I had, someone I was with at the time read through, a lot of the things I had written, because I write like
stuff down.
Like lyric. It's like songy.
I also had that issue where they went through my phone while I was at doctor's appointment.
Yeah, and they're like, I don't like this because it's not about me. It's like, oh, it's so weird. Like, it's not what it's about, and that's not the point of it. Yeah. And like, why are you that
and it's
insecure?
Also, it was also looking in your phone, not you like sending it to them.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Which is weird. I had that issue, and that was one of the most stressful things.
There's like 3 red flags in there.
No. I mean, we can definitely talk about like issues in relationships, because I actually think that's what like that was one thing that was mentioned to talk about, because the stuff I've been writing and the stuff that has happened. But I mean, on that note, just to keep going with that, I mean. Like, I even sang a song the one time, a song I wrote years ago, like, at least 4 or 5 years ago, like, one of the first songs I ever wrote, and it was about, like, it was a message to myself. It was called Self-Confidence, also on the album.
Okay.
Right? And I sang it for the person I was dating at the time, and she was like, oh my gosh, so sweet. And then she was like, oh, you wrote this 4 or 5 years ago? Oh, so it's not about me? And then cried, and I was like, bro. It's not about anybody. I just thought it'd be cute, and now you're crying.
Yeah.
And I felt bad. I was like, I'm sorry.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know what to do.
That sounds like a not great creative environment. That's
but afterwards, I have the whole like I have a new album in the works, and not even close to being done at all. But I have like all the songs done, which is different. It's like that usually doesn't happen.
Okay.
Right. Right. But I have songs that I'm like, oh, I have too many songs I have to make for a third album. I have too many for the second. I have to just go to the third now too. Yeah. So I have so many songs, and it's all because of like response to like being done with that kind of relationship, which we can classify as like highly abusive on multiple grounds.
Dude, the amount of material that gives you though, when you sit down to write.
It's great.
It's a lot of material.
And then you write about new love, like just the idea of it. Like not even
it's a whole thing.
Someone could be an inspiration, but you're just like, oh, the idea of it.
Right.
It's just so like it's so much different now after like dealt with your crap. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's
gives
great.
You a new perspective on when things are good.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh, this is what normal.
Yeah, I mean, like I've only ever dated one person in my life, but it was not good, and I can tell the difference now.
Yeah.
I can tell the difference before, but like not while you're in it. You can tell before and after.
Yeah.
The in between.
Well, that's the worst thing too. Is like when you're more green in the dating scene, when you just don't know what to expect, and then it's just like you're just kind of going. You're like, I guess this is.
Yeah, your guess is right. Like
this is how
like you're supposed to read through my phone when I'm not looking. Really?
Yeah.
I just read a Reddit thread. It was like people who've been like their first relationship was a really long relationship. Like, what did you learn wasn't normal once you got out of it? And it was just like some
everything.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I mean like it definitely happens. I mean, I would have never expected to sit here today and be like, one of the like, I didn't get talked to for 2 hours because I didn't take a picture on my own Snapchat story with Flash, because I didn't use Flash. Didn't get talked to for 2 hours. Like, can you?
That level of like micromanaging.
Yeah, like I was like, isn't it my Snapchat story? First of all, second of all, like I think you would pretty without Flash, but like. So be it. And like I don't get mad in any situation, so I'm just like, hey, you done? Cool, ready to be nice?
Just
cool.
Like let's move on. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Let's not linger on that any longer.
No, but then I don't talk to you for 2 hours. Then you're like, I don't know what to do. Yeah. I'm just gonna like sing to myself in the car.
This podcast is sponsored by Relevant, a location-based mobile network personalized by your interests. Customize your newsfeed to consolidate all the information you care about all in one place to quickly and easily find what's relevant to you. Find out what's going on in your local area and reach your community from the palm of your hand. Relevant is available on iOS and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevant.
I got nothing, man.
I don't know how to segue from human bowling. Like, what the...
I recommend it.
I mean, I used to be on a bowling team with a bunch of old men. It was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that was a rec league.
Yeah.
That was not part of the high
league.
School. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to sign a waiver to make sure I wasn't professional. But I had like 120 average. I'm not professional.
I'm very bad at bowling.
Yeah,
I try to actively avoid any opportunities to bowl with my friends.
Didn't we almost go bowling?
Almost went bowling.
Yeah, and I was like, thank God I didn't.
Yeah.
To connect the two details, though, right? So, like, if you had to go on a first date, would you avoid bowling or would you go to bowling? Wouldn't you want to let the girl win?
But you can let her win at other things than bowling. Like,
I'm a mini golf kind of guy.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm more of a mini golf kind of guy.
Yeah, but like, do you still let her win?
No.
Okay.
I get very competitive, and you're gonna have to deal with that the whole time we're together. So you gotta know right away.
Yeah. Honestly, I took a girl bowling, same person, whooped her butt, and she did not want to play the second game, and I was like, oh, bad idea, Austin. Yeah. Like, come on.
You're well, I'm a
I had like a 140, and I was like, you know when you're bowling, you're a little kid, like you're lucky to get over 90 with with the bumpers.
I still play with
and
the
I'm
bumpers.
the person that's like no bumpers, like it will mess up my curve. Like that's. That's funny. You think I'm kidding?
No. I know you're serious.
Like my curve's reckless.
Right.
Yeah. Just and then I used to use the 12-pound ball, and the old men would tell me that I need a heavier ball.
I didn't know there was a difference.
Yeah, they have different weights.
When the ball's heavier, when balls are heavier, they.
Damn. There's no way out.
when a ball is heavier,
right?
They carry through the pins higher. So the lighter your ball is, the more likely it is to bounce off the pin and not carry through the pins.
Oh,
that's terrible.
So if you hit the pocket, which is like that little spot between the head pin and the other pin, which is where the strike zone is, not to be confused with baseball, it carries through it instead of just bouncing off.
Oh.
The strike zone for baseball.
I never
And he
knew.
knows baseball.
Yeah? You know baseball?
Yeah,
what do you know about baseball?
I watched it for a couple years and I cut cable, so.
Okay, what team did you watch?
Phillies.
Okay, do you watch them now?
No.
They missed
I
the
cut
playoffs.
cable like 5 years ago or something like that. And I haven't seen
5 years ago?
I think the last season I watched was like
2008?
2014 or something like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They were still bad then.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like anything after 2011.
Yeah.
Awful.
They went, I'm pretty sure this is how it went. It was like 2008, win the World Series. 2009,
Oh, yeah. Each year
get to the World Series but lose.
worse.
And then next year, let's lose in the AL, whatever the one is before
CS.
it. It's DS, then DS.
NLCS,
Yeah,
then
then
DS,
D.
yeah.
Yeah. C, then D, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about baseball. I just know that every Philly team is pretty not great.
Every Philly team, regardless of sport?
Aren't the Sixers doing okay?
You mean the Sixers that are going to win the East and the Eagles that are going to win the division?
No, well, I'm not. Oh.
Are you a Giants fan? I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not a Giants fan. I'm just not an Eagles fan.
I'm telling Storm you talked about sports on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how we got there. It was bowling. Stupid human bowling. Human bowling got us here.
I can't believe that was my fault.
That's terrible.
That's where we got to, for real.
So,
wow.
I don't know how to... This is not even
we're just gonna cut.
It's just a hard left turn. So I imagine kind of... I think that something, MRS, you were talking to her a lot leading up to the show.
Yeah.
She said something really interesting, which is the idea of where you pull from. I think in general, a lot of where a lot of artists pull from is more from tougher things rather than good things. When you sit down to write, it's like you're less inclined to talk about when you're feeling happy than to vent out kind of these feelings you might have. That tends to manifest itself more. But the spin you have on
your bowling ball,
how you I'm only good at Wii bowling.
Oh hell yeah!
Or your nets bowling where you like this and you don't.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was the master at that one.
I bet. Yeah, it's like an exact knocking the table where the laptop is.
You should see the track and field internet where you're just knee high the whole time. Anyways, go back to our normal conversation.
Yeah, no, but the way that manifests itself for you and the more positive, introspective way that you interpret it and kind of have that come out, I think is really cool and important. And it's weird to me when I listen to music like yours, because the first thing that strikes me is kind of the more positive vibe for the messaging and the lyricism and everything. I feel like there's a really big lack of positivity, especially
from the hardship.
Right. And I don't know. And other than love songs, like, you know,
like generic
pretty
ones.
neutral love songs, it's either that or it's just bad emotions. You know what I mean? Like, those are the only two
and I think
gears.
I think my ground is legit. Oh, this person's cool, but I'm afraid to talk to you. That's pretty much my entire sound.
Wow.
It's like, wow, we would be great together if only I'd actually have the courage to talk to you.
That is good sound.
That is all me.
That's a great soundbite.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying. But I do agree. I mean, I think love songs can be really good if they're really real. Like, which, from my personal opinion, I haven't had a nice relationship to experience nice feelings about love other than like maybe like once or twice inside of it where I'm like, oh, this is how I feel and I can put this down on a page that's authentic. Because I can't just write a love song and be like, oh, yep, wow, this is a love song and you're so cool. I love that you give me hugs. Like, not like what?
That's
like,
half of it right there.
That's it, dude.
You know what I mean? But like, or you write that's like Maroon 5. You'd be like Maroon 5 and you're just like, I'm done with these love songs, but like you're talking about a love song. Yeah, whatever. But
tired.
Yeah, I mean, but and then the other side of it is that this person sucks and I don't like them. Right? But like, there's a total in between. Like, there's a lot of other feelings also that don't have to do with like other people.
Right.
Like maybe do it with yourself. Like maybe you're
right.
Like I write a lot of lyrics where I'm like, I get stuck in my own head, and I'm in like that's me. That's legit. My anxiety is now all up here, and that's my whole sound.
That's crazy.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I know. Like, just so you channel all the anxiety out through the strings. And it's
like the liberation of, I think, realizing, which it seems you definitely have, that like what you write about doesn't have to be black and white, you know, or close. Like what everything else sounds like. Which I think it seems to me like when I listened to your songs, like the subject matter that everything went through, and you know, there's obviously also like lighter-hearted moments, and there's the more serious tones, but it's just such a wide variety of like different things and thoughts and like places that you're in, which I just find very interesting.
You talking about the album specifically?
Well, I listened to like all of the, you know, even the earlier stuff, like the singles you released, to like Discovery and stuff, which was an interesting like
that's
complete
just me and my friend trying to be fun. It's great.
Yeah, and Frat Boy, which is just like having fun.
We were like
ridiculous.
The video on that's even funnier. Just like I it's not even the video on that. If you watched it, if anyone ever wants to watch the lovely video, looking at you, yes you. It was. So my friend obviously wasn't at the beach with me, but my god brother was, and my god brother is the sweetest kid ever, and I love him, but he's also really bad at lip syncing. Okay. But that's exactly what I loved about it. Like we were like, oh, let's make a video because he loved the Frat Boy song, like he loves it, and so like I was like, okay, let's make a video on the iPhone and be really bad. And just do stupid things. Nice. And the whole story, and that's what the whole video is. And his lip syncing is awful, but it makes the video great. And my lip syncing is not much better. Yeah. So don't make me think I'm trashing his lip syncing. We're both bad. It's just easier to admit that it's okay. I'm not a downer on myself all the time. I'm okay at things.
It's the first like remotely negative thing you said about yourself, and you're having like a meltdown trying to backpedal from that. Dude. It's fine.
It's doomed. Okay. We're done. I'm just
it's called a poorly edited podcast, so there's a lot of self-deprecation.
But we try our hardest.
Well,
I'm gonna tagline it now, quick. Trademark.
Well, now I have to watch that video just to see how bad the lip syncing is. Because I'm interested. Yeah. I'm actually dealing with a lot of lip syncing right now for a project I'm working on.
That was a really weird segue.
Which is very fun. Well, no, lip syncing's never like
you practiced in the mirror.
Good. No. No, it's not me. I'm not the one talking. I just have to edit it. But no, that's never fun.
No, it's not.
You have like
no. I'd rather just sing it, but
a very small window to get that right, and it'll never. It's
like matching it up with like the video and the audio, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Also, if someone messes up while in the video that their lip sync is off and you can't fix it, and you're done. And you're
it's
retake, but you can't do a shoot done. It's great. I mean, I could, but not because I'm just doing it on my iPhone. I can just be like, come on, let's go. Yeah. But that's how I do my videos on the nice iPhone, premium quality, just like. The tagline on John Mayer's single, where, you know, that song with the light one, whatever, New Light, and it says premium content.
I'm a big fan of that song.
Right?
Big fan of that music video.
It's so good. Actually, that's
So
a dope
great.
idea. And then Ed Sheeran copied it with "I Don't Care." Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
exact copy. Let's be
Yeah.
real. Like we know you like John Mayer, but don't try too hard.
John Mayer's insane though.
Yeah, I wish I was him, but I also like myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
he likes himself a lot.
Yeah, okay, maybe I do want to be myself. You're right. Just with his talent, and like the
Just
way
less narcissism.
and the way girls talk about his voice, I'm like, man, I wish I sounded more like a man, so they would say that about me. You know what I mean? Like people like as soon as John Mayer starts singing like Free Fall, and they're like,
Yeah.
and then when I start singing, they're like, wow, that's 12-year-olds really cute. Like that's about what it's like. You know what I mean? Like wow, what year are you in high school? And I'm like, I'm a senior in college. Good job. It's all
I
right.
gotta go.
Yeah, I'm about to be in school for 5 more years,
got
but it's
homework.
okay. We're
So
trying
you're a
to.
freshman
No, I'm just gonna try to
in
go
high
for.
school. You're going to college.
Yes, yeah.
But you're going to college for
Political science.
right.
Yeah.
And so where's the overlap
where's the overlap?
with that?
Good question.
Like how do you juggle that? How do you juggle those interests?
So like I didn't know what I wanted to go to school for,
Okay.
but I wanted to pick a major right away,
Okay.
and I wanted to go to
This is a
Moravian.
familiar story.
I wanted to go to Moravian. As soon as I walked on campus, I went, "Yep, that's it." Like
Yeah.
trees, everything. I was like, "Yep, this is home."
Trees.
Right?
That's it.
It's
Beautiful
It's the
campus
way.
this time
It's
of
the way
year,
it
too.
works. It's the way the trees fit in the atmosphere.
okay.
Is how, but I went, okay, what interests me? Nothing.
Good.
Right. And then I went, what would I take though if nothing interests me? Okay.
That's an expensive college to not know what you want to do.
Political science it
Yeah.
is. I was like, political science it is, because
Did you throw a dart?
I like things that matter. I like to
Yeah.
write about things that matter. So things that matter, bam, politics, cool.
True.
Actually worked out really well. I'm like, wow, this actually relates a lot when you see people like dying across the world, and you're like,
Yeah.
I need to write a song about that particular human being.
Yeah.
You might not actually. There's like I don't know enough details, but
Right.
like the idea, like this ideas of change and like wanting to like be a betterment is like okay, cool. This is why I'm in this path right now. I actually saw the correlation pretty well after a while. I was like, oh, perfect. And then I started doing sociology, which is the study of people on a larger basis. I was like, wow, fits in even better. And then I started doing women gender studies, women gender sexuality studies. And I went, wow, another disenfranchised group of people that I can
Right.
write about. And like now I'm in a comfortable place too, where I'm like, I don't even want to take this any way you can. Screw being a man. Like I'm just a person and they're a person and we're all people. So like I don't care what you have to say. I don't care what you have to say. We're all in this together. So you might as well. And that's how I feel about like the world too. I'm like, you're the United States, cool. You're Canada, cool. But we're still people. So like, why are we like drawing this line? Ooh, so scary. The whole line. Let me like. It's
The actual line.
Do you know what I mean? So like, I just want
Yeah.
us all to be like nice. I don't want us to be the United States and Canada. I don't want us to be a man and a woman. I don't want us to be a transgender and a heterosexual. I want us to. That's not the right correlation. That was not the same. I know my
understand what
material,
I
but
understand.
I just want us to be a world that we all respect and treat each other nicely.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting coming from someone who's in that field of study to say that those divisions
Yeah,
are
the poli-sci. I mean,
less helpful than they are helpful.
for real. And
Which
that's
I tend to
exactly
agree.
why I don't want to be a politician. You got it right on the head.
Right.
Which is why I'm trying to get my doctorate in sociology, but cultural political
Right.
sociology. But I like to study like social change. I'm doing an honors project right now that's on whether cultural manifestations such as like big cultural things like for example, I just like Rosa Parks like busting would be an example of a cultural manifestation. How these like cultural manifestations represent a disenfranchised and oppositional and alternative culture that through these cultural manifestations somehow influence mainstream thinking. Do they influence mainstream thinking, or is it the collective nature of the thing, or do these events in particular? And I'm looking at this all women's music festival from 1997 to 1999 called Lilith Fair, that was founded by Sarah I can't do it.
McLaughlin?
Yeah, that's it. The dog.
Yeah, the dog person.
But Yeah, but so I'm on page 40 of that, so I'm working on that right now.
Okay, so that's like a big kind of okay.
Yeah, so the schools go, wow, you can actually write for your doctorate, so I'm going to take you in.
That's fascinating. Academia is a fascinating world.
That's one way to put it. It's
interesting. I really enjoy it.
I just hit the table.
Thanks for letting everybody know. In case you didn't see,
in case you didn't hear or see it, I hit the table. Yeah, that's a fascinating thing. I don't know what if at any point you want to change the subject and you're not interested, just go ahead.
Okay.
But no, because I think
I'm just
I want to just immediately
stop,
escape, stop.
It's like when you're like doing the cards as a magician. Like, okay, done. Stop. We all know your point tricks. Stop the cards.
Trick is over.
Just take the deck.
Trick is over. Trick end. But no, I've said before that I think if a lot of the things that the direction I've been pulled in didn't take me where it has, I definitely would have stayed in college and went to more college because I really am comfortable in that environment. I got my associates and I was like, I can always go back, but I'm like, I'm not I don't feel like that's what I should be doing right now.
And you gotta go wherever your heart tells you.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, I just gotta go here and figure this out and we'll see where this goes. But, it's just a comfortable environment. I love learning. I love the opposition of ideas. And and just like hearing you writing about a paper and it's 40 pages long and you're like going through all that stuff.
That's
I'm like,
fun.
Oh, I love that. Like I miss that.
The test is the stupid part. The
tests are done.
The whole oh my gosh, let's pick questions that you may or may not know and let me see how much I can judge you and then be like, cool, you suck.
See how much I can judge your short-term memory.
Yeah, and this comes from a person who does very well on tests, but it's the most annoying thing.
No, I'm the same way.
I think we all feel that way. We're like, this is not a representation of who we are.
Right.
No. And that's why we need change in, standardized testing.
Standardized testing. Yeah. We talked about this before the show. I took the GRE, which is what you have to take to go to graduate school. I got average scores, and I was like, I looked it up, and I looked up all the schools, and I was like, so my GPA is good enough for Yale, but my GRE isn't good enough for Penn State, for competitive.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I'm doomed, right? Because they'll cut off, and they'll say they won't even look at it, right? And lucky my professor was like, no, you're fine. Just get into all these other schools like Vanderbilt, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But she was like, I wouldn't even be surprised if you did into Yale. And I was like, I would be. But I mean, if I didn't go to Yale, I ain't complaining.
Right. She's like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, it's just
no, but the funny thing is you mentioned the whole you know where your heart is taking you. And to me, we were talking in that room about different graduate schools, and part of me always likes this idea of Vanderbilt because it's in Nashville, and I'm like, wow,
Nashville's cool.
I don't like the city. I actually hate the city. Any city.
Nashville is a city.
I don't like any city.
So be careful.
But music career.
Right.
But I know I'm going for a doctorate in sociology, but music career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As much as I can do something on YouTube and it could blow up, I could also be in any place in Pennsylvania and I could also be found. But Nashville compared to little bitty where Catastock is where we're at the moment. I used to live in Quakertown, Bethlehem, whatever you want to say.
You just dox us. There's this.
No, I'm just kidding. The show is now shut down. Inappropriate content.
Trick end. No, I'm just kidding.
Trick is over. This is the terminal.
There's an air to that. I think placing your... It's interesting because you hear a lot of advice that I think it can go either way. I've heard people say you don't have to move to these places because of internet and you don't need to be in LA, you don't need to be in New York, you don't need to be in Nashville because you can get discovered through whatever. But there's this certain thing about when you go somewhere and you're there and you're living it. And you're breathing that air, and that's just it's all in the air too, and
you're
it
just holding yourself more accountable.
Yeah.
Dan Roebuck talks about how he bought a one-way ticket to LA, and
you really hold yourself. You hold yourself.
Yeah, it's he bought a one-way ticket, and it's going to work.
One-way ticket to paradise.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't understand that, but
neither do I.
Isn't it 2 tickets to paradise?
You know what?
Yeah.
But I don't have it. But I'm not dating anyone, so it's a one. It's a one-way ticket. Would I like to be? Sure, but they have to be pretty cool. You know what I mean?
That's a major
Well, no,
move.
they have to be pretty cool to start with. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna talk to you after a week if you ain't cool. There's a difference.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, and
It's a good quote.
cool is a very broad term. Like, you have to like be substantial with like being able to like actually talk about something. Like, my least favorite thing in the world is we already talked about how boys don't know how to talk, but like.
I already know what you're gonna say.
But like, if you're like chilling there, you're like, "Hey, honey, what's up?" And you're like, "Oh my gosh, I love you." And, "Oh my gosh, I love you too." And you're like, "So how's your day?" And they're like, "Good." And you're like, "Cool, I'm leaving you." Like, not actually, but like, it's like
that's pretty much how it
like,
goes.
Can you be like a little bit more? Just elaborate, just a tad.
It's single life isn't fun because it's just talking to a bunch of people who you probably don't have that many similar interests with, and then it's just
At least
not
you're
an
talking to
exciting
people.
conversation.
I just sit there. I mean, there's a difference.
You're saving time. Like you're probably doing.
You know what the funny thing is? My friends have made me download Tinder at least 3 times. They set up my profile. They do everything. Just I don't deal with that, right? And like they're like, okay, you just swipe, okay? I'm over here like, don't know their personality, swipe left. Don't know their personality, swipe left. Oh, that person's cute, but show its fate, swipe left. Like it's like that's me.
That's what the bio's for. You know what my favorite part of Tinder is? You can link your Spotify and it shows what music you like. And I am not joking. That is the 90%. Because that's what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
So if I can't talk about that, I'm not.
And the content matter of those songs.
Yes.
Yeah, you're actually right. That's a good point. But anyways,
key.
The moral of the story is I've had it 3 times. I've never once ever gotten a match. Am I that ugly? I'm just messing.
That's possible.
No, I'm dead serious. Like at least like 3-4 weeks of trying, no match at all, in any 3 times.
Do you think your friends were trolling you by making a bad profile for you?
Your Spotify must be weak, bro.
Your Spotify,
dude. I don't even have Spotify.
You just only listen to your own music on Spotify, and then that's all that comes up.
Actually, no, not at all. But I mean, I've been in like an NF mood lately, but that's about it. It's really like angsty. Do you know what NF is?
I don't listen to them.
He's an angsty rapper.
I listen to MF. Doom.
Oh, okay. I was like, I have no idea.
But not NF.
That's okay. Good try. NF toured with Logic last year.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was the opener. Well, Kyle and then NF, then Logic.
Kyle?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you know guys like.
He's one of in terms of the positivity more. With,
he's really like he's pretty positive. Yeah, and he rode a surfboard out there. It was kind of cool.
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
Was there water?
No, it was the crowd surfing on a surfboard.
Oh yeah,
dude, that's
very literal.
This long to do that.
Why is it taking so long?
I'm telling you, bro.
Idea.
It was good.
That's crazy.
For sure.
Well, so I think that you've definitely had probably a very unique journey through the landscapes of all the directions you're pulled in. I mean, it's a lot of altruistic kind of goals, I think, and a lot of motivations really altruistic for you. And like, you know, I think the kind of message you're trying to impart with your music, and I would assume with your line of work that you're studying and want to, you know, get into career-wise, you know, and music and is trying to improve people's lives or people's mindset at least, and trying to put better things, you know, out there. So do you have any advice for, because I would imagine, and maybe I'm wrong, but like there was probably a point where you were maybe afraid to get real. You know what I mean? You're
sure.
Like, did you have the moment where you're like, I could talk about BS and like really 2-dimensional stuff because it might sound good and be palatable, but I want to talk about real stuff. You know what I mean? And like, So do you have any advice to anyone who has an interest in that and might be afraid to go there?
I think the first thing is I was afraid to just speak up, to let my voice be heard.
Yeah.
Just to say something that like is from me, regardless of what the heck it said. But then onto that point, there was subject matter that I was like, oh, I can't talk about that, and it's usually like political songs or things like that, like things that have to do with anything that has to do with like all being one, because someone's gonna go screw that. But
someone's gonna go like, oh, it's cheap. Yeah, it's like. But
there was a thing John Mayer put in his story. Maybe John Mayer will see this podcast and find out that
So.
Yeah, he's a fan.
Well, I called him a narcissist earlier, so sorry, bro.
Love the music.
I think
Love the music, though.
He was an ego.
He was. No, he's better now.
I think he's really come into his own.
Yeah.
And I think he might even agree to that.
Because he's, I watched
in
an
Montana.
interview. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's low key, a lot more low key now. I watched an interview of him, like, kind of post-mortem of that whole kind of phase of
I think he admits
to
to
it.
it.
DL for a little while.
Well, he was like, dude, when you're that young and people are telling you you're like a genius and like you're the greatest,
You're gonna think you're God.
It's like, how do you develop normally, like, from
don't.
that point?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
with
you
Justin
have to-
Bieber.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now he finds Jesus and whatever.
Exactly. And you're like, dude, there was no way that was gonna go normal. You know what I mean? Like that, like.
And
that
he
was on a normal
he's
path he was on.
And he was insanely talented from a
Yes.
super young age.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
he still is.
well, yeah, so anyways, if John Mayer ever sees this, and when you know John Mayer, that you posted on your story like a year or two ago that you probably never even remember you did, but it talks about how you can only preach to your slice of the pie. The only people that are ever going to think about whatever, that are ever going to take you as you are the people that not already agree with you, but already take you as is. They don't have to agree with you. They just have to be willing to take you as is. And there's going to be a ton of people that don't. And you don't have to preach to them, because preach is the probably not the best word choice, but you don't have to talk to them because they weren't going to listen in the first place. They're not going to listen. You can't impress everybody, or you're going to impress nobody. If you try to make it generic to impress everybody, you're going to impress no one. So you have to tailor to whatever you believe, and then the authenticity of it will just shine through. There's no other way around it. You can't be fake and have success on a long stage. You can't do it for a long period of time. You might have like one hit and be like, wow, everyone's like, wow, this is the song of the summer. But
Because eventually people will.
Yeah, like,
eventually it'll
no
come
offense,
through.
Old Town Road, but you're gonna take your horse back to the stable.
Oh!
I gotta go.
Am I a little too savage? Man, imagine.
That's a shot, for sure.
Let's be real. If I was an actual celebrity, I feel like that would just hit headlines right there. TMZ would be all over this.
I hope so.
That would
we
be
could still
great,
arrange it.
Yeah, and
I'll call Harvey.
And then Lil Nas would be like, you know what, dude? Like, you don't have the platinum. I'd be like, yeah, but at least. Never mind. We're just gonna stop there. I'm like,
Changing the subject.
you know what I mean? Like, I was like,
Yeah. No, I feel you though.
don't know how to ride horses, but it's okay.
I don't know what you're talking about anymore, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
I'm just going off Old Town Road, you know. I'll take the Maserati though.
Yeah,
That's
for
fine.
sure.
Billy
For
Ray can call
sure.
me up. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
He's left-handed too. We're both left-handed.
You're left-handed?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That must be tough.
You're sorry?
I
Do you
can't
think I'm,
imagine being
Satanist now?
left-handed.
Isn't that the old rumor that it's like, oh, left-handers are like the sign of the devil?
No.
So.
That's definitely
Was
what
that
it
a
is.
thing?
Yeah, and then that's why Catholic
should bring
school-
that back.
Catholic school would make you write with your right hand. With lefty, they'd be like, no. They'd slap you with the ruler and be like, I'm right.
Were you left-handed?
My great aunt was left-handed, and she was like, they wouldn't let me write right-handed or left-handed. left-handed.
Just no hands. You can't use any hands to write.
It's the only one I had.
Yeah. Poor little Myrtle the turtle.
I will admit though, left-handers annoying. Like when
Why?
I sit next to my cousin's left-handed.
bump you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when we eat dinner or whatever, annoying.
Can't fork in the eye,
you.
like
yeah.
get away.
Good old
I mean,
family fun.
no, but like the worst part of being left-handed is being a guitar player.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I walk.
So you have to hold the guitar upside down.
No, because I play left-handed guitar. So I walked into Guitar Center and there's 1,000 guitars and they go, okay, here's your two, and I'm like, they're both Yamahas.
Yeah.
I don't want a Yamaha.
Yeah.
I want a nice guitar. I can play guitar. Like
Sponsored by Yamaha. Did you just turn that off when I looked at the camera?
I just talked about how Yamahas were bad. What are you talking about? They're cheap. But they're not actually bad guitars. They're just cheap. They're made based on old parts, like not old parts, of spare parts from like their other like things they do.
What guitar brand do you recommend then, dude? If you're so steadfast.
Rocking a Martin right now.
Yeah, I figured.
We live right next to Nazareth. I can't.
Yeah, you
I,
can't. In good
I can't
conscience.
go. Let's play Taylor from California, bro. No, I mean like I think Taylor sound nice. I would be willing to have a Taylor, but I also like if I have a Taylor, I can't get a sponsorship from Martin.
Yeah, you got brand loyalty.
No, I don't actually. But like if you actually also look at all the players, like so Taylors have crisp tones in general, like nice crisp bright tones. Martins have more like deeper rich tones, and to me like they both have their use.
Yeah.
For a solo artist, for what I do, for the type of music I do, when I'm trying to be real, I just feel like that darker, like, bassier root is like, okay, that's like, that means real to me. Like, shimmering means pop. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Not that it can't be, and they can obviously switch, but
you have your associations.
if you look at the players,
conscious and subconscious,
Jason Mraz is probably the only Taylor player I can think of, and Zach Brown band, that do real music, but also play Taylors. But Zach Brown plays real music. Zach Brown plays a nylon Taylor, so that's a totally different story. That's different. But real play, like, what I mean by real
music,
like, to me, I mean people that talk about like substance matter. That's not like. I'm gonna try to phrase it in a way.
I apologize for putting you on the spot because I knew it would be.
No, it's a tough thing. Like, if you listen to like a hit radio, most of it is not real music. Well, some of it can be, but like it's like subject matter. It's the way the song's constructed to me. Mm-hmm. It speaks to me. I'm being very personal with like what I mean by real.
You're saying subjectively.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess there's no way to define a real.
Yeah.
But, Jason Mraz is probably the only Taylor player and nylon string player, Zach Brown, shout out to you too, that plays Taylors that I actually think made like music with really good substance beyond like the generic love song. You look at Martin, it's John Mayer, Ed Sheeran. I feel like I'm plugging them now.
Right, you haven't heard of them.
Right, Siri, I know.
Right, Siri?
Siri's like, yes, John Mayer. But
playing John Mayer.
That's like the Amazon Echo or whatever. Yes, Siri would do the same thing. You're right. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Hey, man.
Siri, trick stop. Please.
Ed Sheeran, you got John Mayer. You have people like Hunter Hayes that play all Martins. Johnny Cash played Martins. You have, I'm like blanking on people now. The Avett brothers play Martins. I know more like substantial and like really like meaningful people to me that play Martins, and I just feel like I have to be at that. Now I have to. Mm-hmm. Simon and Garfunkel, the Police guitar player. Mm-hmm. His last name's Summers, I think. If I'm wrong, sorry. But there's a lot of different things, and just like being able to go to the factory is something like, okay, now I feel like I'm part of this. Like, I've walked up there. Shout out to a guy named Dick Boat who used to run the. He was the guy who worked with like making the guitars, the custom guitars with the celebrities, which is like the coolest job ever. And he just recently retired. And I was in the museum where they have all the nice guitars, and he was putting the 2 millionth guitar back in the case, in like the display case. 2 millionth. It was worth $1 million. That's crazy. And he goes, "Here, hold this." I was like,
just walk.
Got away. It. I don't want to drop it. I was like, no. It was so pretty. You gotta look it up. It's like inlaid with like clock gears, like all pearl, like blue, gold. It has a clock in the headstock. It's kind of crazy. But to me, like that means like home. Like Taylor, it seems like distant and like far, as great as they might be, and like Martin just feels like home, like down to earth, because it's right here. Mm-hmm. And the way that they represent themselves is very much like, okay, like we're a small, they're not small, but we're a factory in Nazareth, PA, where the farms happen. I don't know.
they grow their guitars.
That's like really
we grow
good.
Guitars in the cornfield.
The guitar orchard.
Yeah.
You walk through and pick Martin guitars.
I like this one. Brazilian rosewood. Woo! But that's like, to me, that's how it is.
So you think there's something about very much the connection of the.
I think that's how it is for everybody.
It's made.
I think that's how it is for everyone. I think for like Jason Mraz.
Dude. Josh is just like walking around knocking stuff over the whole time.
He's having a great time.
Dude, he's just.
But I feel like someone like Jason Mraz, if you follow his history, I want to say he was born in somewhere in this like northern eastern area. I think he was a little bit lower, like Virginia, Maryland area. And he went to school in New York, I believe, at the theater school. I forget what it's called, but a lot of people went there. Megan Trainor, I also think, went there. Yeah. And he went, I'm just going to pursue a music career, but in San Diego, which I don't know if that's even a music town. Funny story, but so he went to San Diego. Taylor also makes guitars out in California. So you see these connections after a while, and probably why. Like John Mayer's from Connecticut. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just how it is. He went to school in Boston and he went down to Atlanta.
We're getting close to the end. We're talking about guitars. How about you play your guitar?
Sure.
I don't know what you're gonna play.
Yeah, I got you.
He's just like, no.
Actually, I changed my mind. I'm just kidding.
And as you're doing that, as you're getting what about your new album would you like people to know? Like, if there's one kind of if there's one idea or one bit to encourage people to check out your music, because I think it's definitely worth listening to. I think it's definitely worth.
Thank you. That's
out,
like the
you know
most
what I mean?
like the biggest compliment you can give me is that you spent the time. You don't even have to tell me. Just that you spent the time. That's the biggest compliment I could ever receive.
Well, it's just there. Listening to it, there's just a lot of care. It's a lot of deliberate.
Yeah.
It just feels
like little
everything.
Speech interludes in between.
Yeah, it's just it was thoughtful, and I just dug it. It was just
cool.
a fun.
Good.
It was just fun, you know.
So I intend to do the same thing on all my things. I want to add interlude story things just like speeches. I really like writing speeches, and I feel like I can't write a speech and they're two different things. And I can write them both, but I can't write them together, so they have to be separate tracks. They have to be separate things. And I feel like this next album is really about love, but in a really different way. It's like what we talked about. It's like, here's love in a really good sense. Here's love in a really bad sense. Also, here's love in the middle. Mm-hmm. And that's most of the time I sing the love in the middle section. Mm-hmm. But there's those moments where this is bad. This is also good.
I really like songs like that talk about that range of emotion.
So I'm excited because this feels like the realest me, not subject matter wise, but I feel like as an artist, the way I'm like making music now, I'm like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is good.
That's awesome.
So that's
a good place to be.
That's where I'm like, okay, cool. I'm excited for this. I just have to record it all, which is the daunting task. I'm like, oh, well, school and that and just a lot of things at once. But I will get there, and it shall be hopefully good. Hopefully good.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully it's you know what I mean?
Confidence.
No promises.
Yeah. You can. I'm the person who needs the self confidence. You're supposed to support me.
Right.
You're setting the bar.
All your friends would be like, you can always do it. But they don't. Do they really mean it?
No.
I don't think
that's
so.
Just what you say.
Yeah, but that's not what I say. I'm like, listen. if I think you're
keep it real.
If I think you're doomed, I say, listen, I love you, and you got this in some other aspect, but not this.
Put the bumpers up.
That's good.
I mean,
put the bumpers up.
I don't want someone to be supported by a fate system, but I also don't.
Environment.
But I also don't want to be. I'm not someone who's mean. I'm not mean at all. I'm just also someone who's like, hey, I'm gonna help you become the best you can be, and that means not letting you be something that's not beneficial for you. And most of the times when I say I'm like honest, I mean like when someone's like, hey, should I go do this? And you're like, probably not a good idea. You probably shouldn't go and do that because that's probably not good for your health or good for your well-being. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that.
You play guitar now?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't want us to we should keep it there for the whole time. It's called Just Maybe. It's a song about the in-between. It's the song about where you're at with when you have this feeling like you want to be in love, but you're also way too afraid to be in love at the same time. And you have this optimistic approach, but you also think it's going to go completely wrong.
A lot of duality.
Yeah. So the song,
It's a 10-minute song.
The song idea revolves around the song itself. The structure revolves around the word maybe. So just keep that in mind. The word maybe comes up a lot.
Am I
good?
Maybe.
I don't know you, but I like to. Waiting this long has got me in a corkscrew. I just wanna show you attention, so I made a scene. I promise it's all the show more than it seems. I guess I make a fool of myself just so I can keep my disguise, when all I really wanna do is look into your eyes. 'Cause just maybe one day you could be my lady and wake you up at 3 a.m. just to make sure you're still alive. But maybe that's just my excuse, just so I can look into your eyes. 'Cause maybe the day ain't loud enough, and maybe it'll all start when I say what's up. I'm far too scared, I'll come off too strong, refrain from making a move, so I'm not wrong. Hide all my feelings inside the words of the song. 'Cause if it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But I think we belong together. 'Cause just maybe one day you could be my lady and wake you up at 3 a.m. just to make sure you're still alive. But maybe that's just my excuse, just so I can look into your eyes. 'Cause maybe the day ain't long enough, and maybe it'll all start when I say what's up. Knowing me, I'd say a joke nobody would laugh at, but maybe you will. Knowing me, I'd say a compliment, 'cause words fired out of my head, but maybe you feel the same. And maybe being afraid is useless, and I should just tell her how I feel. Maybe that's how you make it real. 'Cause just maybe one day you could be my lady and wake you up at 3 a.m. just to make sure you're still alive. But maybe that's just my excuse, just so I can look into your eyes. 'Cause maybe the day ain't long enough, and maybe it'll all start when I say what's up. Cool. Woo! Thanks. Woo! I thought I'm in a little tiny desk concert right now.
Yeah,
That's dope.
dude.
Dude,
Cool.
What
I
an
just got
accolade.
idea.
No one has ever thought of that yet. Yeah, so my Insta's ALEW _33.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yo.
No, I just changed it to me. No, I don't change it. So that's that. My Facebook,
Okay.
I think, is just ALEW.
That's also how you can find your music on Spotify.
Yeah, if you
So,
type that in, yeah, hopefully it pops up.
Okay.
If you type it on YouTube, it's not the first thing that pops up, sadly.
We'll get there.
I know, we have to
Yeah,
get more
okay.
popular, but yeah, so
Okay.
that's how you
Awesome,
find things.
great.
You just type in Alew. If you don't, that doesn't pop up, you just type in, like, I saw a name. Stars is the easiest one for me to say. Just type in Stars, Alew, and it should pop up then.
Nice.
Awesome.
But thank you for having me
No,
today.
thank you so
No,
much.
thanks
no,
for
it was
coming out,
So
dude.
much
Cool
fun, I
conversation.
swear.
No, you're lying.
No, I know it was fun. It was definitely a fun conversation, and I realized that I'm more savage than I thought I was. Sometimes I'm like,
Yeah, dude, you went in a few
I need
times.
to hold it back because like
We're gonna clip all of it and just cut it all
Just
together.
the
Only
savage.
those things.
just
Yeah.
the savage comments of
Yeah.
Austin.
Yeah.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking